Welcome to another edition of Morning Date, when we get to meet figures from all walks of life. And today is no exception, as I have the pleasure of sitting down with Mr. Paul Carver, the head of the Seoul Global Center. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. 자, 센터장님 오시느라고 많이 힘드셨을 텐데요. 나눌 얘기가 정말 많습니다. 제가 물어보고 싶은 것도 정말 많고요.
마음껏 물어보세요. 저는 다 솔직히 드리도록 하겠습니다.
네, 우리말도 아주 수준급으로 구사하시고요. 정말 반갑습니다. Well, you're no strangers to the show, actually. You've been here on Morning Special before, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Well, you've graced us with your presence before, and once again, thank you so much for that. Well, you're the head of the Seoul Global Center, and although the name of the center is in some ways self-explanatory, could you briefly tell us what this center does?
The simplest way to put it, I think, is when foreigners living in Seoul have some difficulty in their life, normally they think, I'm going to call my embassy and they're going to help me.
Right.
And you call up the embassy and they go, what do you want me to do about it? Because actually their scope is quite limited. But in reality, we do all the things that you think your embassy should do, but they don't. So we have various services like we can help with various education programs to improve your life in Seoul. We have lawyers and labour lawyers who can help you give advice if you get in any kind of legal troubles.
Right.
We have a real estate counsellor, and we have just 13 different counsellors who can answer any question you may have about life in Seoul in your sort of home language. So it's kind of like a friendly face from your hometown who you can sit down and chat through your problems with.
Right. So would you say it's safe to say you sort of fill in the gaps where the embassy cannot?
Yes, basically, yes.
And that ranges from, legal counselling to real estate advice, and you mentioned education there as well. So just a wide range of welfare issues, I think.
So we have Korean language lessons. We have lessons to help you prepare for the Korean driver's test.
So you don't actually provide. Do you provide the lessons, or do you tell people where you can get those lessons?
We provide the lessons in our centre.
Okay, you do that too.
6 classrooms. So
perfect. Yeah. All right. 교육부터 시작해서 그다음에는 부동산 문제라든지 법적인 여러 가지 문제들이 있을 수 있는데 외국인들이 보다 쉽고 편하게 서울 생활 할 수 있도록 돕는 게 바로 Seoul Global Center가 될 텐데요. When did it open?
It started in 2002 as a concept. So obviously at that time there was the World Cup in Korea.
Right.
And Seoul city government decided, well, we're going to have a huge bunch of football fans descending on Seoul from all around the world. So we need to make some kind of help desk to help them with any problems they have while they're here.
Sure.
And it was quite successful, so they kind of extended it once the World Cup had ended. And then in 2008, it went from being sort of Seoul Foreigners Help Desk to Seoul Global Centre.
Right.
And we moved into our current building, purpose-built building, in 2013.
Well, that's already, 17 years ago, 2002?
Yes.
It's been quite some time now. How would you say Seoul has changed in terms of how many foreigners come and live here and just the scope in that sense?
Since 2002, the number of foreigners living in Seoul, or in Korea as a whole, has shot up.
Yeah? Do you feel that? I mean, as someone who works in this field?
I think so. To give you an example, we used to walk along the streets of Seoul, and kids would say, "Look, it's a foreigner," and that hasn't happened to me in a few years now because I think foreigners are so ubiquitous here. Currently in Seoul, we have about 450,000 long-term foreign residents. It's kind of flattened off in the last 2 or 3 years, but between say 2010 and 2015, it was on an upward trend. People from a wide, I think. Last time I checked, 170 odd different countries.
Wow, okay.
And
very diverse.
Yeah, very diverse, and all here for various different reasons. We've got maybe 40,000 foreign students, 100,000 people here who are on a workers' visa, so either working in factories or businessmen, maybe 80,000 who are marriage migrants.
Oh, wow.
All different kinds of people.
Well, obviously you keep abreast of your numbers there. I can't keep up myself, but a lot of people, basically, compared to 2002 when you first started.
Yes.
처음에 2002년에 문을 열었던 서울 글로벌 센터, 그때는 이제 물론 이름이 좀 달랐습니다만 많이 확장을 했고요. 또 외국인 유입에 따른 그런 결과라고도 볼 수 있겠습니다. 월드컵 당시에 센터장님은 뭘 하고 계셨나요?
저는 월드컵 직전에 석사 마치고
공부를 하고 계셨군요.
네, 한국에서 석사했는데 그 졸업해보니까 영국 가서 취직해야 되는데 월컵도 있었으니까 그냥 6개월
분위기를 타서.
네. 제가 원래 축구 되게 좋아하는 사람이라서
그러겠죠. 영국 분이신데.
그냥 못 보고 가면 되게 아쉬울 것 같아서 그냥 6개월 동안 그냥 놀면서 월컵 기다리고 경기도 많이 봤죠.
Well, those 6 months turned into 17 years and counting. So.
I did actually go back and then spent 5 years in the UK and then came back in
Okay.
2007.
I think I'll ask you about that in just a short while.
Okay.
But let's talk a little bit more about the Seoul Global Center itself. Now, I understand that, services, just basic services like ordering food, seeking residence and things like that can be quite challenging for the average foreigner coming to Korea. And you mentioned there are a lot of people. So what's the process? Do they normally just look up your center? Do they get referred to? Or how does this work?
So I say people contact their embassy and the embassy say
And
we can't
then
really
they
help you. So the
okay.
embassy refer a lot of people to us.
Got it.
And we also get a lot of referrals from like word of mouth. So someone that's used the centre before, when their friend has a problem, they say go to the centre and they'll help you.
What about people who don't speak English?
So currently we provide service in 13 different languages.
Perfect, right.
And you're going to ask me what they all are, right?
Oh, what are they?
Okay, let me see if I can do this. English, Korean obviously, Chinese, Japanese, Uzbek, Russian, Filipino, so Tagalog, Thai, Vietnamese, Mongolian, Arabic, Indonesian, and Spanish.
네, 이상 들으신 이 13개 국어로 도와줄 수 있는 게 바로 서울 글로벌 센터가 될 텐데요. 보통은 이제 외국인이 서울에서 체류를 하게 되면은 대사관에다 연락을 한다고 합니다. 근데 대사관에서 우리가 이런 문제까지는 해줄 수 없으니 서울 글로벌 센터에게 연락을 해라라는 그런 통로를 통해서 많이들 연결이 되는 경우가 있고요. 아주 그냥 간단한 일들부터 식당에 가서 음식 주문하는 것부터 시작해서 법적인 문제까지 두루두루 다루시는군요. Now I'm wondering about your personal case as well, because you're a non-Korean as well. Did you face these troubles yourself? Is that how this all came about?
Obviously, when I first came here as a student, like 20 odd years ago, there wasn't any kind of help desk per se.
Yeah.
So if you had a problem, you sort of asked those around you and tried to find. I mean, this was back in the early days of the internet, even. So it's not like you could go on Google and sort of find 100 different
What year
answers.
did you come to Korea initially?
For the very first time, 1992,
Okay.
when I was 16. So I came here on a family holiday.
People who can do the math can believe it. Anyhow.
Came here on a family holiday for about 10 days or so. And then obviously went back, finished high school, went to university, and then I came back on a kind of cultural experience program at the end of my second year of university. I spent about 6 weeks at Uede, so Hanguk University of Foreign Studies.
Yeah.
Doing basic Korean classes and taekwondo classes and travel around Korea.
애초에는 1992년도 가족과 함께 한국으로 여행을 오셨다가 그게 나중에는 또 한국에서 석사과정을 밟는 것까지 이어졌고 그리고 지금은 이제 서울 글로벌 센터장까지 되셨습니다. 그 중간중간의 얘기들도 나눌 게 너무너무 많을 것 같아요. 잠시 쉬어갔다가 노래 듣고 와서 얘기를 더 나누도록 하겠습니다.
알겠습니다.
자, 노래는요. This is Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler. You're listening to Morning Special on EBS FM. This is Morning Date, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Mr. Paul Carver, the head of the Seoul Global Center. 자, 센터장님, 아까 1992년도에 처음 한국에 오셨다고 말씀을 해주셨어요.
네.
That was for a trip, right? Holiday. I'm just wondering though, not many English people choose Korea as their summer holiday destination. How did that come about?
Basically, my father's friend was posted to the embassy here in Seoul.
Right.
And for whatever reason, my dad decided that that summer would be a good idea to do a trip around Asia. So we went to Bangkok first, Singapore, and then we tacked on a short trip to Seoul at the end of it and stayed with his friend in their nice embassy housing, which gave me a totally unrealistic expectation about what life in Seoul would be like.
아, 그랬군요. 그때 당시에는 한국만 오신 건 아니고 아시아를 이렇게 쭉 돌면서 여행을 하셨었는데 그 중에서도 나중에 한국으로 돌아오신 뭐 어떤 이유가 있었을까요?
제가 대학교 전공으로 중국어 했거든요. 그래서 2학년 때는 북경 가서 1년 동안 유학했었는데 그거 끝나고 제가 한국에 그 무슨 문화 체험 프로그램으로 올 기회가 있어서 일단 여름 방학에 한 6주 동안 왔고요. 근데 어차피 너무 좋아서 그때부터 계속 다시 올 그 기회는 계속 찾으셨죠.
아, 한국에서 오래 체류하시는 외국인 분들이 이런 비슷한 얘기를 하세요. 한국에 와서 살아보니까 너무너무 매력적이더라. 한국의 매력, 어떻게 요약을 좀 할 수 있을까요? 그 센터장님이 느끼시는 매력.
영국이랑 비교한다면 한국이 너무 다이나믹한 도시예요. 24시간 다 계속 뭐 할 수 있는 거잖아요. 그리고 그냥 설명하기는 어려운데 그냥 너무 좋은 거죠.
But then you did also say earlier on that it wasn't your initial intention to live here for good. I mean, you were just going to stay here until your studies ended, and then another 6 months until the World Cup ended.
Yeah.
But you stayed on. Did you? You said you went back
actually,
and forth
yeah.
a bit.
At that time, it wasn't easy for foreigners to get jobs in Korea.
I see.
Obviously, there were plenty of opportunities to be an English teacher, but if you wanted
Sure.
a more mainstream career, it wasn't so easy. So I determined it would be better to go back to the UK, get a job, and then transfer back out to Korea if that's what I wanted.
Right.
So
And is that what you did?
So yeah, I went back to the UK, worked in an accounting firm for 5 years,
Okay.
and then transferred out to Seoul, to the same branch in Seoul.
Right.
So yeah, at that time that was when so when I just gone back to the UK, and that was when sort of blogging really started taking off. So I could sitting in my office or sitting at home in the UK looking at the adventures that all these people were having in Korea via their blogs, and I thought, no, I can't do this. I want to go back to Korea and live some of this myself. So I sought out the opportunity and came back. And originally it was only going to be for sort of 2 or 3 years to get it out of my system.
Right.
But obviously I fell in love with being here, and also about a year after I came was the whole global financial crisis. So at that time it seems sort of safer to stick with the job I had in Korea rather than go back to the UK and into the economic nightmare that it was in at the time.
You got bit by the Korean bug, as they might say. 보통 이제 영어에선 travel bug라는 표현이 있어요. 그래가지고 여행하기 좋아하는 사람들은 내가 여행 벌레한테 물렸다. 그래서 여행을 너무 좋아한다 이렇게 표현하는데 센터장님은 Korean bug 나쁜 의미가 아니고요. 그만큼 이제 매료돼가지고 계속 한국을 또 오고 싶어지고 또 오고 싶어지고 영국에 다시 가도 또 한국이 생각나고 그러셨군요.
네.
그럼 지금은 would you say Korea is your home or do you still consider it foreign land?
I think Korea is my home. The UK is kind of my hometown, shall we say?
Yep.
So you know anyone, right? If you grew up in whatever city it was, and then you move away somewhere else, when you go back to that city, there's kind of a 정이라는 거 있잖아요.
맞아요. 정은 영어로 표현할 수가 없어요.
Some kind of good feeling in your heart when you go back to that place and brings back your childhood memories. So when I'm on the plane landing at Heathrow and you look out the window and you can see Big Ben or the Houses of Parliament, then I do get a kind of feeling in my heart. But ultimately, Korea is my home. It's what I'm familiar. Nowadays, there's so much turmoil back in the UK that it certainly seems like quite a different place to it was when I last lived there 10 years ago. In the meantime, my parents have moved house, so the area where they're living, where I go back to visit now, has no emotional connection for me.
Right.
So yeah, I think Korea is definitely my home. I guess the next step is to go on and apply for Korean citizenship, right?
Absolutely. 야, 뭐 당연히 영국이 고향이기는 하지만 그래도 지금은 마음속에 어떤 그런 고향의 느낌을 많이 가지고 있다. 한국에 대해서 이런 말씀을 또 해주셨어요.
그런 것도 있죠. 뭐 마음속에는 약간 갈등 있어요.
갈등.
예를 들면 올림픽 할 때는 무조건 한국보다 영국을 응원하는 거고 뭐 축구도 마찬가지예요.
그래서 제가 예전에 그런 얘기를 들었어요. 축구 그다음에 뭐 정치 뭐 한 몇 가지 더 있는데 종교 이런 거는 절대로 건드리면 안 된다.
그렇죠.
왜냐하면 이건 너무너무 센시티브한 문제들이기 때문에. 근데 내적인 갈등이 좀 있을 수도 있겠어요. 한국도 사랑하고 영국도 사랑하는데 한국과 영국이 붙으면 누굴 응원해야 되나 이런 좀 행복한 고민 하실 것 같습니다. 축구 좋아하신다는 얘기를 여러 번 하셨어요. Do you have a favorite team or
in Korea or in the UK?
In the UK.
In the UK, I support Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay.
So the team that my father supported, and his father and his father. So that's been our family team for I don't know, maybe almost 100 years, I guess.
Is that the district you're from, the area, or is that unrelated?
So my dad was born in Sheffield, and I think his grandfather moved to Sheffield from London, maybe 1910, 1920, something like that. My father was in the military, so when I was born, we were actually living in Scotland.
Okay,
so
wow.
Lived there for the first 18 or 20 months of my life, and then moved back down to England. And so, you know, Koreans love to ask, where's your hometown? For me, who's moved sort of every 2 to 3 years of my life,
having
question. A hometown is kind of a difficult question. But yeah, I guess from a family point of view, I consider Sheffield to be my hometown. My mother came from Somerset, which is down in the southwest, so I have a lot of connections down there, a lot of family still there.
Okay. Does your mother support a different football team, perhaps, from Somerset?
It's an interesting question, actually, because my mother grew up as a Bristol City fan. So Bristol's the biggest city in Somerset. And my mum and dad actually met at a football match. So
oh, wow.
My dad was posted to an Air Force base down in that area, and being a football fan, he would check out whatever the local matches were. And he's on the train heading towards Bristol, and he sees my mum presumably wearing a Bristol City scarf, and he says, "Can you tell me how to get to the ground from the station?" She said, "Oh, follow me." And the rest is history.
The rest is history. 영국과 축구 얘기, 또 여기는 이제 센터장님은 로맨스까지 부모님에게 어떻게 만났는지 얘기까지 같이 들으니까 굉장히 흥미롭습니다. Alright, well I think we need to take another song break, and when we come back we'll talk more about your life here and also about maybe language aspects of life here and also your personal experiences. Let's get to that after a song by Jason Mraz. I'm yours. You're listening to Morning Special on EBS FM, and right now, this is the segment we call Morning Date. I'm sitting down with Mr. Paul Carver, the head of the Seoul-Global-Center. 자, 센터장님이 전공 학생 때는요, 전공은 중국어를 전공하셨다고 하셨는데, 뭐 그다음에 뭐 경제학도 공부하신 것 같지만 언어에 대한 질문을 좀 그럼 드려볼게요. You obviously speak fluent Korean. For me, I find that language opens doors to lots of different possibilities. You get new friends, new work opportunities, just life opportunities in general. Has that been the case for you? And is Chinese now just out of the picture? What's going on there?
Well, obviously, I don't get much chance to speak Chinese nowadays. So yes, I guess if you ask me to speak Chinese, I can rattle out a few sentences. But to have a decent conversation is not easy anymore.
Okay.
A lot of it's still in my head, so if you give me a page written in Chinese, I can understand the gist of it.
Yeah, my French is like that.
Yeah. Obviously, I've spent the last 10 years living in Korea. I took one semester, so one 10-week semester at language school at one of the universities, but the rest of my Korean I just sort of learned by living here and being around Koreans and absorbing it, which means although I sound fluent at times, I have a lot of gaps in my knowledge.
But I can't tell.
You could do if I started writing things.
Well, that's different. But I mean, a lot of people in Korea obviously want to learn English. Our listeners are of a very advanced level, but still, you know, they do want to get better.
Yeah.
Would you give them any tips? Although this is a reverse sort of perspective here. You've learned Korean, they want to learn English. How do you go about learning a language?
I think for the average person, they need to put down the textbooks and just start.
Oh, put it away.
Put away the textbooks. Throw them in the bin.
쓰레기통에 교과서 버리랍니다. 학생들은 말고요. 일반 분들.
And then just get out there and try and find opportunities to talk to people. Listen to radio shows like this. Watch foreign TV programs so that you've got the words coming into your ears and you're used to it. So
I think you have to be a bit careful about going out and talking to people because you don't want to just grab a random foreigner on the street and say, "Hey, I want to practice English." That's rude.
That happens to me on the subway all the time.
Does it? Okay. 그거는 좀 지양해야 될 것 같아요. 외국인을 만나서 영어를 많이 연습할 수 있는 기회를 잡는 것은 중요하지만 그냥 아무나 길거리에 있는 외국인을 붙잡는 것은 좀 신뢰가 될 수 있습니다.
그리고 외국인이랑 좀 영어로 대화할 기회가 생긴다면 완벽한 영어 하려고 하지 마시고.
아 맞아요, 그게 정말 중요하죠.
왜냐면 완벽한 문장 뱉으려면 사실 그 생각하는 시간 필요하잖아요. 뭐 30초나 그런 거.
네.
그래서 대화의 흐름이 끊기잖아요. 그래서 조금 완벽하지 않은 영어로도 그냥 말로 그냥 계속 해보시면 좋을 것 같아요.
맞아요. 실제로 원어민들, 영국인이든 미국인이든 원어민들도 많이 틀려요. 그죠?
그렇죠.
They don't all speak grammatically perfect sentences all the time. As long as you get the message through, that's fine, right?
Right. So.
원어민도 실수를 하는 마당에 원어민이 아닌 경우에는 실수는 당연한 거고요. 그거에 대한 생각을 일단은 버리시는 게 좀 더 좋을 것 같다라는 팁이었습니다. 자, 그럼 한국에 처음 오는 외국인한테 한국에 대해서 좀 조언을 해주신다면은 What would be some do's and don'ts in Korea?
Do's, I think, is sort of be adventurous. So obviously Korea is becoming more cosmopolitan, it's becoming more westernized, whether for good or for bad.
Yep.
But it's still very different to the UK or to the USA or most countries. So when you see something that you're unfamiliar with, don't sort of back away, but just dive in sort of feet first and say, I'm going to try this, and this food looks weird or whatever, I'm going to try it, and if I don't like it, I don't like it, but at least I've tried it. And the second thing is don't spend all your time comparing it to back home. It's different. If you wanted to live your life back home, you can just stay there and live it. You've come here for a new experience.
That's a trap we can easily fall into. I think that happens to anyone, anywhere really. Yeah. Especially during the first maybe year or two. It's very easy to think, oh, my life back there was much better.
Yeah.
But you just have to trot on, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, effectively you've taken the road less travelled, right, by coming here.
There you go, Robert Frost. The road less travelled by.
Yeah. So once you've chosen that path, I mean, obviously, if you really are suffering and you really don't like it here, you have the opportunity to go back to your home country. But I would say just don't fuss too much about comparing to back home, and just enjoy it for what it is. And then lastly, I think when you first come here, everything's new, everything's exciting, so you get this kind of rush, and then after 3 months, maybe 6 months, the honeymoon period's over, and you you get a little bit of homesickness coming in, and just know that will pass. And if you've got a good bunch of friends around you and you've got involved in various clubs and 동호회, then you can find a support network and get a more settled life.
네, 지금 센터장님이 말씀해주신 외국인이 서울에 와서 한국에 와서 체류할 때 주의해야 될 점들, 이런 부분들은 제 생각에 이제 청취자분들이 주변에 혹시 이런 외국인이 있다 했을 때 또 거꾸로 우리가 조언을 해주면 참 좋을 것 같아요. And talking about living in Korea, which you've done for a very long time now, many different advancements have been made, especially here in Seoul. What more do you think we need to do to make this more of an attractive city to come and live in and just more accommodating?
I think, personally, the hardware is all in place.
Okay.
You've got all these support centres like Seoul Global and various others. The government's worked on making Seoul a more livable place to be. So they've developed lots of parks and green areas. You've got more cultural programs coming in. So it used to be that, for example, big bands would, like your Beyoncé's or your Coldplay's, they would go to Tokyo, they would go to Beijing, they'd go to Singapore. But now more and more they're dropping by Seoul as well. So you can see various musicals have come in the last year or so. So I think this is a great place to live.
Just out of curiosity, do you play a part in any of that? The Beyoncé's and the Coldplay's?
No, unfortunately not. Okay. I would love to claim sort of...
I was just curious since you mentioned it.
No, but no.
So the hardware's in place, but the software we still need to work on.
Yeah, I think in terms of the Korean people, they're more accepting of the fact that there are long-term foreigners living here, and the idea of multiculturalism is being absorbed into people's minds, but actually there's still a little bit of a way to go. For example, if you come into Incheon Airport as a foreigner, certain types of foreigners are allowed to use the automatic immigration gates, but because the signs say sort of Koreans, if you go into that queue, then the Korean airport staff will try and guide you towards the foreigners' immigration desks and things like that. So there's not the idea yet that there are foreigners who are, for example, who have naturalized as Koreans, have Korean passports, or who have permanent residency and intending to live here for a long time.
한 십몇 년 전에 이 서울 글로벌 센터가 처음 문을 열었을 때에 비하면은 물론 인식이라든지 여러 가지 사회적인 제도가 많이 좋아졌지만 아직까지는 좀 개선해야 될 부분들이 좀 있고, 그다음에는 외모는 외국인이어도 그래도 이제 한국 사람 같은 분들이 있다는 것도 우리가 좀 많이 자각을 하고 알면은 좋겠네요.
네.
알겠습니다. 자, 그러면 Seoul 글로벌 센터 10년 후의 모습을 어떻게 내다보시는지. Where do you see the center in 10 years?
10년 안에 좀 없어지지 않았으면.
없어졌으면.
네, 없어졌으면 합니다. 왜냐면
의미심장하네요.
지금 서울에 거주하는 외국인들이 좀 애로사항 계속 생기니까 서울 글로벌 센터 같은 거 빌려하는 거죠. 근데 아까 얘기했듯이 계속 개선하고 좀 서울시 좀 좋아진다면 이런 센터 좀 필요 없지 않을까 싶어요.
이런 센터의 도움 없이도 편하게 살 수 있는 나를 꿈꾸면서 이 센터가 10년 후에는 없어지길 바란다. 네. 말씀을 또 이렇게 마무리 말씀으로 멋지게 해주셨습니다. Alright, well thank you so much for that. That was very insightful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the day today and your weekend. And yeah. Alright, hope to see you back.
Busy day for the rest of the day.
Yes, alright. 네. 이상으로 오늘 모닝스페셜 서울 글로벌 센터의 센터장이신 폴 카버 씨와 함께 했고요. 저 유튜브로 들어가셔서 동영상도 다시 찾아보실 수 있습니다. Alright, well we'll be right back after this song break. This is Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa. See you again.